Hey guys, what's up? So there are three parts to the problem, how we'll approach. We'll first decode the problem, find the brute force solution, that's the second step once we decode the problem, and the third one will be finding an optimal solution. So here you can see I have an example of the first non-repeating character. So I'm taking an example where A, B, A, C, D, D. The first non-repeating character here appears to be B, right? So how did we get to this point, right? The first aim of this problem is like to decode the problem. Now, if you see, if I'm like looping, that's the simplest thing, right? So if I'm going to loop over the string, my pointer will be on A. Now, I'm going to separate out rest of the string because in real sense, right, whenever you're running the code, your code would not know that there's a string apart from where your pointer is or where your index is at that point in time. So it is at A, right? How would we know that A is a repeating or a non-repeating character? The only way to know that is by having a pointer to the rest of the string and then moving that pointer all the way till the end in case you don't find it. But in this case, you have A as the reference to be checked for repeating or non-repeating. So it meets this condition just at this point, which is index 0, 1, 2, or it's the index as 2, right? So this is A definitely is a repeating character and we can move past that. What we are going to do is we're going to pull this one back. We're going to move our index to B now. And now again, what we're going to do is we look for if B is non-repeating in this string, right? I think we have decoded the problem and this way we can find the index of the first non-repeating character. In this case, we'll find B as non-repeating because if you see that a red pointer would search B all the way till the end, it won't find it. And that's the way it say that, alright, B is the one which is non-repeating and it is the first that it found, right? It was also a brain algorithm which I usually call sometimes. So how do we get to the next step now? Decode, yes, done. The next step is to find the brute force. So when we actually look for the decoded problem, we actually trying to solve the problem and decoding it, we actually kind of tend to incline towards the brute force solution. That's the first step. So the brute force solution, if you are looking at examples clearly, you can see that this is a loop, right? So this is a loop, or you can say this yellow pointer is a loop in itself. So it's a single loop, and then you need an outer loop. So there are two loops which will have to be involved working on the same string to actually check. And this also makes very sense because if you see if there's a string like A, B, B, if you see very clearly that A, B, B, A, you have to have like, if my pointer is at A, I need to know somehow, right? If my pointer is at A, I need to know somehow that my character where my pointer is at is non-repeating. And the only way to look into that is by actually looking beyond that string, maybe ahead in that string, like trying to look each and every character which is other than the character that you are pointing it at. So that's how you're going to find it, right? So definitely you're going to have it like O(n) square, which is obvious. So O(n) square is a obvious solution. So if you see the two loops, so there you see a solution that I've coded for you guys to see how a brute force solution looks like. It has two for loops, one which is moving with the yellow pointer, which is the outer loop, and one which is moving with the red pointer that we saw in the example when we were working with the iPad. So there you see that these two loops are working together to get the index, but that is definitely an O(n) square, right? And this kind of problem, if you solve with an O(n) square, it won't be accepted for sure in the bigger tech companies like Amazon or Google, Walmart, all these tech companies, they would not take it. So we need to find an optimal solution. Let's come back to our iPad screen. So here you see we need to find an optimal solution. How do we do it? So as you know that when we were looking at the problem, we need to have look like ahead in the string all the time. Like we have to traverse the string, like we have to have a reference at the first character and then move ahead in the string. That's not going to happen. That's not going to help us because it's an O(n) square solution. What we're going to do is like as we move ahead in the string, what we need to do is we need to keep a history of how many times we have seen the characters. That's how we're going to do it. Let's say if I can build a map that says A has occurred 3 times, B has occurred once, C has occurred once, and D has occurred twice. So let's say this is a map. And now once I have this map, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this string again, character by character, right, every character one at a time, and then whenever I encounter that character, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for that frequency or the number of times that character has appeared in the string, right, so that I can look up in the map. And the lookup in a map could be constant time complexity problem, so that saves a lot of complexity for us, and we would also be doing it in like somewhere around O to N problem. So it will still be a linear time problem because there will not be an exponential order there. So let's look at the solution now, how we can do that. So guys, here we are at the code. So the question is first unique character in a string that we already discussed. So let's take a sample LeetCode. So because L here is non-repeating as index 0, so we have returned 0. We have to return -1 in case we don't find anything that is non-repeating. So let's start. So to start with, as we discussed earlier as an optimal solution, having a map would help. So what we're going to do is like separate this as a two part where two loops will be used. So first will be where we loop over the string to build the map, and then we loop over the string to find the number of occurrences if it matches 1, right? So let's build the first one. So I can take here a hash map to build an actual map, but I'm going to take an int array. The reason being because this is just a lowercase, so it has a note here, you may assume the string contains only lowercase letters. So you are limited to 26 characters which are in English alphabet. So I can call it a map, right? I can still call it a map, and I can give it a size 26, and then I'm going to loop over my string as in like int. I can loop over my string, so it will be, but initializing the index I less than s dot length. Then I have a temporary variable where I'll have my character, the current character that I'm pointing at. So I'm just going to do that, char at again I. So sorry, I did it twice. Okay, map ch minus. So what this line would do, what I'm trying to do is like, for example, I'll build a map for you guys here. Let's have love LeetCode, right? Or maybe let's have the LeetCode with a shorter one. I'm going to build something like this, L1, right? That will have E3, P as 1, right? C as 1, O as 1, what else? And D as 1, right? So there are a lot of characters that has a single occurrence, but all we got to do is we got to find the first one, which is L, right? So keep in mind what we are doing here is building this kind of a map here. Right now I'm at L, and I'm just so this character ch will be L minus A, so ASCII value of L minus ASCII value of A, and adding it 1 to it, like, because initializing it with 0 is not required, because in Java it is already done, it's already 0. So I'll move ahead, and okay, I just forgot to increment the counter, the index, and then I'll have another one. So now I have built the map. Where you see a map, I have this thing already built up with this part. Now I'm going to loop over, do again a simple while loop. I really like using while loops, it gives me a lot of flexibility and I can build things around it. So char ch again, I can have s.char at j, right, at j, and so if, now I'm going to check, right, so this is there, so this is the same loop as the one we have done earlier, but what I'm going to do is, like, let's say I have looped I created the map. What I'm going to do, I'll be looping over the string again, like L, E, E, T, and by looping over, I'll see whatever I find first, like whichever character I find first, which has the occurrence as 1, I'll return that. So that's where I will find an answer. So if the map that we have, so again ch, the character that we're talking about right now, which is at j position, let's say it is L right now, we're looping over the string, again minus a, trying to find its index in the array. If it is there, then just return j, right? And this is where we return j, and then I do a j plus plus, and in case I'm not able to find anything, right, what I'll do is like I just missed it. Yeah, so this is this part, this is the other part. Let's try and run it. Oh, it works. Submitting it, it worked.